Hi everyone, I'm Shahnaz from CrochetDreams.com, and today I would like to share these very squishy and soft slippers with you. They're very easy to make and take only 1.5 hours for a pair. If you think working with a fur yarn is a nightmare, I'll give you tips on how to work it at the very end of the pattern, so make sure you watch the video till the end. To make these slippers, I used Burnett blanket yarn. You can pick any color. And for the fur trim, I used Red Heart Huga fur yarn. For the hooks, I used a 10mm crochet hook along with a 6.5mm crochet hook for the fur trim. So gather your supplies and let's get started. Today I'll be demonstrating a size 7, which will fit a 9.25-inch long foot. If you want to make it in any other size, please check out my written pattern. I have left the link in the description box below. So let's begin making the slipper. To start, chain 4. One, 2, 3, and 4. Into the second chain from hook, work 2 single crochet stitches. So this is the first one and this is the second. Into the second one, work 2 single crochet stitches. 1 and 2. Into the next chain, again work 2 single crochet stitches. 1 and 2. Into the last chain, work 3 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Now you will work into the free loops of the foundation chain on this side. These are the 2 loops, 1 and 2. So go ahead and work 2 single crochet in each of them. 1 single crochet in the first loop. Next one I'll try to dig a little deeper to close that hole and work 1 more single crochet. Now I have to work into the next loop. 2 single crochet under that loop also. So I've worked 1 and I'll just go under 1 more loop when I'm working the next single crochet. Slip stitch to beginning chain 1. I like to go under both the loops and then complete the slip stitch. You should now have 11 stitches around your work, like that. Now chain 1 to begin round 2. 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Place a marker in that stitch. Two single crochet in the next. One single crochet in the next. 2 single crochet in the next. Keep working like that all around. That is 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochet. You will end with 1 single crochet in the last stitch. 1 single crochet, then 2 single crochet in the next. 1 single crochet and 2 single crochet in the next. And 1 single crochet in the last stitch. So you will be seeing 1 extra stitch between the marked first stitch. That is not a regular stitch, but that is a chain, which we will ignore. So this completes round 2, and if you count around your work, you should have 16 stitches without counting this chain 1 here. So now let's begin round 3. To begin round 3, directly work a single crochet in the marked stitch. I just took off my marker, so this is a chain 1 which I will skip, and then I will directly work a single crochet into the marked stitch. And then I will move the marker into that stitch I worked into the marked stitch. So you keep moving your marker up every time you work into the marked stitch. We will now be working in a spiral without counting the stitches. So this, every time you reach the marked stitch, when you work into that, you will move the marker up into the new stitch you worked. So that will show you your first stitch of the round. So let's start round 3. We already worked the first stitch and placed the marker in that. And now go ahead and work 1 single crochet in each stitch around until you work a single crochet in the stitch right before the marked one. 1 stitch or 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So we are working our 3rd round now. So I'm working into the very last stitch right before the marked stitch, which completes my round 3. So now to begin round 4, I will work my first stitch into the marked stitch and move the marker up. So I'm going to begin round 4. I will work a single crochet into the marked stitch. That is my first stitch of round 4. And now I'll place the marker in that stitch. So this is my round 4, and I would like you to write down the number of the rows you finish each time so you do not lose count. So if you have finished 3 rounds now, you will write down 3 in your book, and when you finish 4, you will write down 4. Like that, keep track of your rows in any way you want, but make sure you keep track of it. So now I'm going to begin my 4th round. Excuse me. So 1 stitch in each round. 1 stitch in each stitch around until I reach the stitch before the marker, and that will complete round 4. So go ahead and work 1 single crochet in each stitch around. We are now working round 4. I have 1 more stitch to go before the marker, so that will be where I work my last stitch of round 4. Now go ahead and work 5 more rounds, just like you worked row 4. That is an even round, placing 1 stitch in each stitch around. So I completed round 4. You will have to work 5 more rounds. Actually, you will have to work 6 more rounds for size 7 or 8. So a total of 10 rounds. So you have 6 more to go. So go ahead and keep working. Don't forget to move your marker up. Work 6 more rounds, and I'll meet you there and show you how to work the heel part. I forgot to add that before you proceed to round 5, go ahead and use the tail, the beginning tail, and use it to close any hole in the toe side here. If you have any holes left, thread it through a yarn needle and close that before your slipper grows any further. You can still turn it inside out and do it, but I prefer doing it now right away. So if there is any hole, this is when you will close it using the yarn tail left at the beginning. So that will give a nice finish to your slipper, as well as weave in that tail and finish your work. So go ahead and use that tail to close any holes on the toe side. If you have any stitches jutting out on the right side, you can check. If you have any stitch jutting out, you can use your yarn tail to pull that in as well. I don't see any, but if you see any, this is the time you will do it. So I'm going to finish weaving in this tail. I've closed any hole left there. I just trim this now. So trim that tail away and you're ready to continue working your even rounds. So go ahead, now work your rounds and make sure you come back when you have 10 rows completed. I have now completed 10 rows and we are ready to begin the heel side. So this is how far I've got, and if you slip your feet in, this is how it will look. So let's begin the heel side. Now to begin the heel side, take off the marker from the first stitch of round 10 and slip stitch into that stitch. Chain 1, 1 single crochet into the same stitch, 1 single crochet into the next 10 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So let's check again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you should have worked a total of 11 stitches. So that would leave 5 stitches free to slip in your feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that is the beginning chain. Chain 1, turn, 1 single crochet in the same stitch, 1 single crochet in the next 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So that completes row 2, and we have 11 stitches here on the heel side. Now let's begin row 3. It is worked just like row 2. Chain 1, turn, 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and 1 single crochet into the next 10. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now we have completed 3 rows on the heel side. Now in row 4, we will be adding increases in the second stitch. That is the second stitch from here and the second stitch from here. Chain 1, 1 single crochet in the first stitch. That is the same stitch as beginning chain 1. 2 single crochet in the next. So that is our first increase. 1 single crochet in each stitch across until you have 2 stitches left. So keep working a single crochet until you have 2 stitches left. I now have 2 stitches left, 1 and 2, so I will work an increase in the next one. So go ahead and work 2 single crochet in the next stitch and 1 single crochet in the last stitch. So that completes row 4, and you should now have 13 stitches across. Now let's begin row 5, which is an even row where you will work 1 stitch into each stitch across. So chain 1, turn, 1 single crochet in the first stitch and 1 single crochet in each stitch across to the end of the row. So this is an even row which will give you again 13 stitches. We're now working row 5. So I've completed row 5. To begin row 6, chain 1 and turn, and to work, and in row 6 we will be adding an increase here, the second stitch here and the second last stitch on the other side. But at the same time we will be joining 3 single crochets together right at the heel side. That is going to give a curved shape at the bottom of the heel. So let's do 1 single crochet in the first stitch. We already did our chain 1, 2 single crochet in the next, one single crochet in the next 3 stitches, 1, 2 and 3. Now we are going to decrease across the next 3 stitches. To do that, pull up a loop in each of these 3 stitches, insert your hook, pull up a loop in the first, insert your hook, pull up a loop in the second, insert your hook and pull up a loop in the third, and then yarn over and pull through all the 4 loops on your hook. So that completes a single crochet 3 together, or a decrease which joins 3 stitches into 1. I'll show that once again. To join the next 3 stitches, pull up a loop in each of them, insert your hook, pull up a loop in the first stitch, insert your hook, pull up a loop in the second stitch, insert your hook and pull up your loop in the third stitch. Now you have 4 loops left on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all the 4 loops on your hook to complete your single crochet decrease across 3 stitches. Now work 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2 and 3. Work 2 single crochet in the next, so that is an increase, and 1 single crochet in the last stitch. Now we're ready to begin row 7, the very last row of the size. So chain 1, turn and work 1 single crochet in each stitch across. You will have 13 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. So that completes your heel side, and all there is left to do is join the heel side at the back. So fold it with the wrong side out like that. And now I want you to join with a slip stitch. we will be joining the heel side with a slip stitch and go through this loop on this edge, or the inner loop here, and the front loop here, and the back loop on the other side. So you will have this loop free outside your shoe. So the ones on the edge closer to you and the one behind on the other side. You'll be working like that. So let's begin. Go through one loop this side and one loop on the other. Complete a slip stitch. One loop on the front and one loop from the back side. Go under one loop each. Complete a slip stitch. And after I finish working through all the stitches or the loops, I also like to just slip stitch at the base like that. Just going through that base in the corner and putting a slip stitch right there as well before I fasten off and trim my yarn. So when you turn it inside out, you can see 2 lines of free loops running. So that's how you join the back side. And now we will join the yarn back here and work around of single crochet around it to make it more snug. And when you reach here, I want you to work a single crochet decrease across this edge and this. Same on this side, you will work a single crochet 2 together here and here across this spot and this. That is the toe side and the heel. And when you stick your hook to work the single crochet, work into these valleys between the rows. Insert your hook here and here between the rows. That will be easy to work into. So let's begin the last round. From the back of the heel, slip stitch to the back of the heel, 1 single crochet in the same place, work over the yarn tail, 1 single crochet in the junction between the next 2 rows, keep working a single crochet in the junction between each of the rows. That way it will be easy for you to stick your hook into. I'm also working over the yarn tail like I said. And when I reach the junction between the heel and the toe side, like that, I will work a single crochet decrease. So I'm going to work a single crochet decrease. To work a single crochet decrease, I'll insert my hook into the stitch, pull up a loop, insert my hook into the first stitch on the toe side, pull up a loop. I have 3 loops left on my hook. I will yarn over and pull through all the 3. That completes a single crochet decrease. And now I'll let go of this tail I've been weaving in, and I'll work 1 single crochet into each stitch on the toe side. And when there is 1 stitch left on that side, I will do another single crochet decrease. So now I just have 1 stitch left. So I will work a single crochet decrease across this stitch and the junction of the rows. So insert your hook, pull up a loop in that stitch, insert your hook into the junction between 2 rows, pull up a loop. Now I have 3 loops left in my hook, yarn over, pull through all the 3 to complete single crochet decrease. Now work 1 single crochet into the junction between each of the rows and go all around your slipper until you hit the back where you started, and then we can finish this round and start the furry yarn round. I've now worked all around, and I'm going to slip stitch into the very first single crochet, and I will fasten off to complete this round. So this is how the slipper looks before adding the furry yarn, and you can use it as it is. It stays well on your feet. If you want to avoid using the furry yarn, it's your choice, but I like adding it because it adds a nice accent and makes it look more prettier. So let's go ahead and add the furry yarn. To add the furry yarn, we will be using a 6.5mm crochet hook. Remember to keep your gauge loose. And now let's begin at the heel where we fastened off. Insert your hook into the same place and work a slip stitch. You can work over the tail to hide it. Work a single crochet into the same place. Make sure you pull all of the yarn to the other side before you complete your single crochet to give that real furry effect. Work 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and in the corners work 2 single crochet, and here another 2 single crochet. So here and here you will work 2 single crochet. In every other stitch you will just work 1 single crochet in this round, and you're also working around the yarn tails. So go ahead and leave the thick yarn tail to weave in later and just work over the furry tails now. Just 1 single crochet in each stitch, but when you reach the junction of the heel and the toe side, you will work 2. That will help you turn. So you've reached a junction, so you will work 2. I'm still working over the yarn tail there, keeping my gauge loose. Now 1 stitch in each stitch across until I reach the junction again. Okay, now I've reached the junction, so I'll work 2 single crochet in each stitch. No, 2 single crochet in the stitch at the junction, and then continue working 1 single crochet into each stitch around. I'll work 2 in the last one and then slip stitch to the first stitch. Now you won't be able to see the stitches in this one, but you can certainly feel it with your fingers. So just go and just feel it like that, and you'll know where the stitches are, and then insert your hook. Now I'm going to complete a slip stitch to join. So that's how you know your stitches. Just feel with your fingers, and you can see that this has a thread with fur attached to it, and you can easily feel the thread on your stitches. So just use your fingers to know where your stitches are. Just feel it like that, and then you will know where to insert your hook. And now in this row you will be working increases to make it more fluffy. That is 2 stitches into each stitch around. So chain 1 and work 2 single crochet into the same stitch. And 2 single crochet into each stitch around. Like I said, you can feel it with your fingers, and if you keep your gauge loose, you can easily unravel it as well. Keep an eye on the thread. That is how you know where your stitches are. Now 2 single crochet in the next. I've worked into this already. Now this is where the next one is. So I'll work 2 into that. Touching it will really help. When you lift, you can even see the gaps under the stitches because we used a very loose gauge to work it. So we're working 2 single crochet into each stitch around. That will make your trim really fluffy. And in the next round we will be decreasing. Feel with your fingers each time before you stick your hook into it. And work 2 single crochet into each stitch around. And when you reach the back of the heel, slip stitch to the first stitch. Just feel with your hands and slip stitch where you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. That completes your round 2. And now to begin round 3, which is a decrease round, you will be working single crochet decreases all around. So chain 1 and pull up a loop in the next 2 stitches. Again, feel with your fingers. Pull up a loop in the next 2 stitches and pull through the 3 loops on your hook. Keep repeating that all around until you reach back, and then you can slip stitch to complete the round. So feel your first stitch, pull up a loop in that. Feel your next stitch, pull up a loop in that. Yarn over, pull through all the 3 loops on your hook. Now feel your next stitch, insert your hook into that, pull up a loop, feel your next, pull up a loop in that, yarn over, pull through. If you pull it up like that, you can really see the threads. So it's easy to work into. And now feel the next 2 stitches, pull up a loop in those, pull up your hook to see the threads, yarn over, pull through all the 3. Keep working single crochet decreases all around your work like that, and I'll meet you at the back. I've reached back where I started, so I'll finish my last single crochet 2 together and slip stitch. You can just randomly slip stitch if you cannot find the first stitch. As long as you're at the back of the heel, that's fine. And now you have to work 2 even rounds of single crochet around your slipper. So chain 1 and work 1 single crochet into each stitch around. So go ahead, work 2 single crochet rounds, 1 stitch in each stitch around, and slip stitch at the back, and repeat that 2 times, and I'll show you how to weave in the ends. Let's now go ahead and weave in these tails. Thread a yarn needle, a big eye needle really helps. And now you can just weave in the furry yarn into the furry layer like that, as usual. Don't pull it too tight. Go back and forth. And I'll now go ahead and trim it. And now you have 2 tails left inside, one at the base of your heel and one at the top. So go ahead and weave those in. You can weave one on each side. Just go back and forth a couple of times. Trim your yarn and repeat the same with the other tail, and your slipper is complete, and this is how it will look once you finish it. So this is how the slippers will look once you've finished it. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, and watch other videos on my channel. Also visit my blog crochetdreams.com. Thank you so much for watching.